Hello and welcome. This is rooflemonger, my friends. We're here with another set of interesting stats for Street Fighter 6. So not too long ago on the channel, we did cover character popularity stats in Street Fighter 6, and you can find that linked at the end of this video if you want to check that out. And there was actually one very prescient commenter who mentioned that the character usage stats are cool, but it'd also be really nice to see things like win rates. And wouldn't you know it, exactly last night, as of the time of me making this video, Capcom updated the website they use, and now we can see all the win rate percentages of the characters, and also in character matchup form as well. As you can see here, here's a nice big spread specifically at Master Rank. And that's exactly what we're going to be covering on this video. Both Master Rank, also the beginning ranks, because I think there's some interesting stories to be told there. And just some of the matchups that, well, you can tell just by the pure numbers, are a little bit lopsided. Okay, so by the pure numbers, Master Rank and up, who is the most winningest character and therefore, by the numbers, the quote-unquote best character in the game? Well, that would be Dalsum with an overall 51% win rate. Now, wait a second, rooflemonger, that doesn't seem very dominant. 51%, right? Well, if that's the highest, who's the lowest? That would be Ryu with a 48% win rate. So these percentages may not be as extreme as you may be thinking. And it goes to show overall, the rough balance of the game isn't too bad. If it was as bad as some people make doom and gloom on the internet, you would expect number one to be Luke with like a 93% win rate. That said though, the raw win percentages don't always tell the whole story. So let's go back to Dalsum here. So versus JP, Rashid, Luke. So has a favorable matchup against JP. And I guess fair enough, right? Because JP's keep away doesn't exactly work the same against Dalsum. Slightly unfavorable losing matchup against Rashid. Once again, rushdown character, hard to breathe. Classic Dalsum weakness, sure. And Luke, roughly even. Move on to another set of characters though, and the results might surprise you a little bit, because they did surprise me. Like say versus Honda, where Dalsum has a very bad losing matchup, just going by the numbers here. He can only win 40% of the time. I guess, you know, the classic butt slam spam, that's actually a bit of a real world weakness for Dalsum. And going through the rest of the cast here, like versus Lily, crushes Lily, you would expect as much here. And roughly even on some of the matches, except against the big characters here. As you can see, versus Marissa, Dalsum seems to enjoy pretty good win percentage versus Marissa. And versus Zangief, 65% win chance. Dalsum versus Zangief is about as messed up as it's ever been in Street Fighter 6. And perhaps unsurprisingly by the numbers here at Master Rank and up, it is the single most lopsided matchup in the game. There's only one that comes anywhere close, which is Honda versus Blanca, where by the numbers, Honda enjoys a 61% win chance over Blanca. Now, after Dalsum, the next most winningest character is JP, and well, the spread's about what you would think. JP has a slight disadvantage against more of the rushdown oriented characters, and has good matches against basically everyone else, and especially dominant matches, it would seem by the numbers, against Guile and Zangief. Zangief because, well, he's Zangief. Guile because JP doesn't have to care about the normal Sonic Boom game, right? JP's playing Mortal Kombat projectiles, not Street Fighter projectiles. One set of zoning tools has travel time, the other one doesn't. Makes sense to me. What about Luke, Mr. Best Character in the game everyone complains about? Hey, don't complain about what my character has because Luke has X, Y, and Z. Well, his numbers are about as boring gets, honestly. Just very slight variances, but almost 50-50 across the board, basically. It's basically the characters of extremes that have the extreme differences in win rates, one way or the other. So Dalsum, as you've seen, also characters like Zangief, Lily, Marissa. So basically oddballs, grapplers, and big bodies. These are the people with the extremes. And if you want to see every number yourself, don't worry, I'll have a link for you in the video description. Also, the site allows you to make a differential between modern and classic controls, and it's mostly what you would think anyways. The only real things to note here is modern Chun-Li win rate is just a little bit better than classic Chun-Li at Master. And also, modern Lily is higher up on the board than you would think. We went over it in the last stats video, but people like modern Lily specifically. Now, keep in mind, these stats are an aggregate, right? They kind of just boil down thousands, tens of thousands of players into just the raw numbers. It doesn't really take into account the exceptional players, like the people who may truly make a character stand out for one reason or another, but still the stats as they stand are interesting to see. And that in mind, let's leave the master ranks and let's kind of go backwards here. Let's go to the rookie ranks, because these numbers here for the true Street Fighter beginners are also very interesting. So here's the spread at the rookie ranks, and who's on top is vastly different, to say the least. The most dominant character in the rookie ranks is Zangief with a 67% win rate, which, as you know, grapplers get a lot of grief in fighting games, and I think this gives a pretty good reason why. Because your newer player is simply more susceptible to be destroyed by a grappler than a more experienced player. This is your top 5 at rookie rank, and looking at the characters, I think it paints a pretty good story. In that, yeah, these are exactly the characters you would think are more inclined to beat up the more newer players of Street Fighter. And in direct opposition to that, if we look here in the rookie ranks at what the bottom 5 characters are for win percentages, it's the pretty girls and Jamie. God bless them. I don't want to throw you under the bus or anything, right? But, you know, the people who pick up Street Fighter because they like the girls. And Jamie. Jamie, honestly, he's a little more technical, but I'm actually surprised to see him at the bottom of the list specifically. But the drink mechanic being what it is, especially at the lowest ranks, I guess it's just a bit unwieldy. And what about the most dominant lopsided matchups in the rookie ranks? Well, for one, Zangief flips the script on Dalsum. In the rookie ranks, Zangief has a 73% win rate versus Dalsum, which I find kind of funny. Like, obviously, Dalsum's wildly the hardest character to use correctly in the game. Almost nobody's going to be doing it right at the rookie ranks, and this is like the one time Zangief can get his revenge, I guess. However, that's actually not even the most lopsided matchup. The most lopsided matchup by the numbers is Blanca versus Dalsum, where Blanca enjoys a 75% win rate versus Dalsum in the rookie ranks. So those are some of the numbers here. Once again, this is aggregate throughout, you know, so many tens of thousands of players, regardless of the rank, rookie, master, whatever, right? And it doesn't always necessarily paint a proper picture in terms of balance and tiers, just because, frankly, when you squash so many numbers together with so many matches together, things are gonna, well, average out. There's obviously stories to be told, especially, I guess, on the Zangief front, because he's always a highlight character one way or another when it comes to doing just raw stats, because the poor boy, no matter what the game is always going to have some of the most lopsided matchups in the game one way or another. Because, well, just frankly to mention it here, when doing the master stats, does Dalsum have the best win percentage in the game? Yes. And because Dalsum has a higher overall win percentage than JP and Luke, does that mean he's a better character than them? Well, no. He's a character of more extremes, and for the most part, those extremes sort of work out in his favor. And that's when you aggregate it all together, the number winds up being just a little bit higher. But you can't necessarily just take pure raw win percentages as a tier list, because, well, it just doesn't work that way. Because otherwise we have to take characters like Honda and Lily and say they're better than DJ, and, well, that's not happening. Hey, Season 2 of Street Fighter 6, maybe. Maybe we're living under the new Honda Lily regime of terror. You better believe I'd be down for that. Though, as a counterpoint, once again here, if this game was truly horrifically unbalanced, even when you do kind of squish all the numbers together, then if it was horrifically unbalanced, then the numbers would still also be horrifically unbalanced. And that's just not the case. Can things be better, honestly, for Street Fighter 6? Yes, they can. You know what? Whenever we get to Season 2, I have full confidence they will be better. I don't know what shape it's going to be, but for the most part, I feel Capcom has earned the benefit of the doubt on the matter. But hey, that's just some fun numbers. Once again, check the link in the video description. You can go check it out for yourself if you want to. I like stats. I'm a stats nerd, and these are just fun to look at. And hopefully you had fun looking at them too. That all said, we're at the end of the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some Street Fighter.
This is the love making.